We are live from the Hideaway at Saratoga Lake Golf Club. Levack and Goz back with you. It's kind of like a weekly thing. What did we decide? We're gonna at least do one a week.
Yes,
but we're gonna do them when and where we're asked to do them.
We'll do our podcast when we feel like it. You hear us? It's our world. You're living in it. Yeah.
I love that, like, the second we turned the camera on and the mic's on, somebody came in from the deck and a huge fly just flew right in my face. Like, there's been nothing, and then that one guy just got in here, like, right then. Don't worry, we'll get the SWAT team on him. Literal SWAT. We're here live. Yankees Sox tonight. Garrett Cole versus Eduardo Rodriguez. Hopefully the Yankees aren't. It's not what it was yesterday, because that game, I did everything I could do to get them to win. I did everything. Guys, anybody who follows us on the Facebooks, all that, the Instas, they know that if I sit in the backyard with a beverage, a cigar, and the radio, the Yankees win. So here we are, rain delays, this crap, that crap, whatever, and we're getting four wild pitches. We're getting four wild pitches from Brooks Kriske.
Brooks Koepka, the golfer, showed up on the mound.
Koepka would have thrown way better. Way better.
Yeah, right.
Like, you know how, like, when you're lined up for a great shot, you're like, Kobe. Like, I think what we should start doing is when you pretend you're shooting at something, but you're gonna whip the ball at your friend's head. Kriske. I think that needs to be a thing, but don't do it to me. It was frustrating. That was a game you should have won. And if you're going to crawl back into the American League East, and if you're going to solidify yourself as a legitimate wild card team, those are the games you got to win. Those are the games you have to win.
That setup you have at your place, you are shooting close to 100% from the field.
Yeah.
That might have ended a winning streak for you, where you were like 15, 20 plus into it, and it was hitting. But Kriske, in a baseball game especially too, right? Like, there's a play, there's an error, there's something you can pinpoint in a game and say, okay, he didn't cost us the game because so many other variables happen in a baseball game. That cost him the game. Like, it was simple as that. When you're that erratic on the mound late in the game and you're putting your rival with an opportunity on the road, especially for the Yankees too, all those things start
that you need to make a serious ground on.
Yes.
Well, and it was, look, the bullpen as a whole was I can't say as a whole. Green and Kriske as a duo gift wrapped that game for the Red Sox. They did. You had the 3-1 lead. Look, Jordan Montgomery, hey, now, that's my guy. Like, he goes out there and he gives you 5 2/3. He goes through the rain delay. He still gets it done. Like, that's the kind of thing that you would hope to get from your ace. And Montgomery is, your third, fourth guy. He's got the stuff where he could potentially be your fifth guy. He's got like 5 freaking pitches. But for him to go out and give you that 3-1 lead to the bullpen, and if he had thrown 2 2/3 or something with the way the whole went down, he did a good job. 5, ridiculous. I was so mad.
There were so many times for Jordan Montgomery where he kind of was like, oh, and it's that guy. Oh, you got Sabathia, you got Tanaka, you got Cole. I'm talking in the past seasons, right? Like,
right.
You had.
Then it was wait till he gets it right.
Right.
Oh.
There was this hype around Jordan Montgomery that he was going to be the big time prospect. He had a great spring training, that kind of almost that training camp style in the NFL. That guy who made the roster and said he's the next big thing, a la Brock Lesnar. Early reference for pro wrestling.
That was just on WWE Network. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, all right.
But Montgomery's supposed to be that guy, and he's never lived up to the hype that he had. And now slowly but surely, it's like, okay, like, this is the moment we need you, and especially in a rivalry game, he's there.
Yeah.
But it wasn't him when you pinpoint at the end of the game and say, oh, it's on him. That wasn't the case.
No, it sucked. It is what it did. And again, the majority of my bile, hatred, and everything else is going to go towards Kriske. And he's going to have to live with that. Well, did they cut him yet? I think they probably cut him by now, right? I mean, I think he's cut.
Well, that statement alone, like, you and I especially, like, have studied these Yankees teams in the AL East across the board. When you go deep into the farm system in AAA and AA, the Yankees, in comparison, again, to the last 5 to 10, even 15 seasons, one of the strengths you can say the New York Yankees have done is built players through the farm system and had homegrown talent. But when you get into July and August, all right, we have a rule. Do we want to pull this off? You can call me off if you want.
There you go. Let's see what happens. Hey, Bells, how you doing? Can you hear me? Oh, hold on a second. I gotta have you come through this. Here you go. Hey, how you doing?
This is Levack's daughter, by the way.
Ella, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, you're on the podcast, just so you know. Don't swear.
Oh, okay.
Don't swear. Are you just calling me back?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll call you later. There's a. When was that laugh? That's worse than mine. What are you doing? What are you working?
Yeah.
All right. She works at Dunkin', so if you're meeting anybody at Dunkin' today, I'll slap the hell out
Pull
of you.
into Dunkin' and say you love the Levack and Goz show, and she will give you 10% off your coffee.
That's incorrect. I'll give you burnt decaf.
Wow. All right. You're a Ravens fan, and I don't love you for that. So you go make coffee. Go make the donuts.
We don't make the donuts.
Wow.
What do you do?
What do you do?
Burnt decaf and no donuts? If you see my daughter in the drive-thru window, pull through.
Yeah.
Go to another Dunkin'.
Throw a donut at her.
Don't throw a donut at her. All right, Bells, we love you. We'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.
All right. Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
I love you as
All
well.
right. I told her to call me, but apparently she was going to wait. She wanted to do her first appearance on the Levack and Goz podcast, which you can see at the Tech East Fire and Water Restoration Facebook page. You can see it on Godzilla's YouTube page, and you can see it live at the Hideaway right now.
If you have Levack's number, you just watch it happen.
Yeah.
That is a rule for the podcast. Levack's phone is hooked up to our system. So if you know Levack and you want to call into the show, just call in and we will put you on. Now, we had some issues on show 2 with Malachi Jones, maybe for the better. Malachi's audio did not go through, but it is fixed. It is good. And if Malachi wants to call back, he can. But if you have Levack's number, seriously, we will put you through.
So real quick, running through, president of the fan club found us. Monty Jennings.
Hey, shout out to Monty.
Hashtag Levack and Goz greater than, well, radio shows, we'll just say. Jon Snow, yes, we can see you. Hi. Brian Cady, who is also part of Godzilla Media. Is it weird? I kind of want the Yankees to punt on this season and just focus on getting healthy and rebuilding for 2022. Yeah, you know why it's weird? There's still plenty of time. And the other reason it's weird is this was supposed to be the year. If you had punted 2 years ago, if you'd punted during the COVID season, I could wrap my brain around it. I could allow it. I could be okay as a fan. Punting this year? Let's say this. As we get closer to the trade deadline, you've got guys, you got Higashioka, he's out with COVID. You got injuries here. You got this there. Severino's about to throw, a potential game where you see how long until he comes back. I can't punt yet. But if you're dire straits, more injuries, more problems as we get closer to the trade deadline, and you can set yourself up with a Gleyber Torres, you can set yourself up with some of these guys that we've been able to fill into the farm system. Let's rock and roll.
I'm bummed that my guy Timmy LaCastro from Auburn High School got injured, blew out his ACL on the wall. Bummed out about that because he was going to be one of these guys that, especially in these close games, in a rivalry game like the Red Sox, that if you win by one run, LaCastro got to second or third, and that advancement on the base pass is the difference in a one-run game with speed like that, but he's out. Does the rumor I've heard out there, and I don't know if you've heard the same name too, Starling Marte is being floated around as a potential Yankee. I don't know if that gets Yankee fans excited. Like, ooh, Starling Marte.
He's, who's Starling Marte, Cliff Lee. Who are the rest of them? There's always those guys that every single year. Jake Arrieta was always one. Like every single year, the Yankees are going to trade for Starling Marte. That's been going on for I think 35 years.
I actually thought he was on the roster at one point. I'm like, you mean Starling Castro? I'm like, oh no, Starling Marte. He's not on the team. And you mentioned Cliff Lee already. Yeah, every year there's a different guy.
Every single year. This is the year they trade for so and so. Starling Marte is every trade deadline. Every time we pick up the phone at the last job and Buster Olney's there, I think there's a good chance they're going to bring in Starling Marte. And it's like, and it never happened. Sure, go get him now. Why not? Bring him in now. Well, I don't care. Whoever's going to help you win. Like you look at some of the things that have happened. Like the old mantra, everybody picks on me for it, and Cashman I trust, right? And even this year I started going, I don't know, he looks like he's lost the magic. Look at Allen, man.
Wait a second. You said that? I missed that quote. You've started to question Brian Cashman?
Just a little. I said it before. I was like, these guys aren't hitting the way, and you can't even hold it against him. He'd go find, look, I know DJ LeMahieu, heck of a ball player, but he was showing decline. Nobody was looking for him. Like maybe, look, the Mets wanted him, but they took Jed Lowry, whatever. There was guys who would have taken him. The Yankees made him a priority, brought him in. 2 times he leads you as the batter. He's the batting champ, all those things. This year, he's regressed a little bit back towards the mean, but he's still good. He's still very, very good. But like every single guy, Cameron Maben, this one, that one, every single guy that Cash brought in during that 39 IL year, 39 players. I'm sorry, was it 31 players on the aisle 39 times? Every single one it was jackpot.
Hit. Every single one's a winning bet. Yep.
It's like you go up to the gas station, you buy 35 scratch-off tickets, and you win money on each one. That's what he was doing. So it makes sense you're not going to do that all the time. But like I said, Greg Allen's out there bringing some speed to the offense. He's hitting over 300. He's got an OPS just south of 1, 0.9 something. Like he's still doing okay, but they got to get these guys. Imagine if Severino comes through that door, Higashioka comes through that, everybody starts coming back, and you go on a tear. And let's not forget, you were on a 4-game win streak before you lost last night in a crappy way. So you take 2 of the, you can still take, this series. You could tie this. You could do whatever you got to do, and you're still on a good tear. You're still doing well.
The toughest part for the Yankees going forward for the rest of this season is that I don't disagree with anything you said. The tough part is the opponents in the AL East, because in comparison to the past few years, the AL East has got a lot better as the division.
Yeah,
the Orioles still stink, and that hurts me. But the Blue Jays were rebuilding. They got the talent. They're good. Still need some pitching, but they're a lot better, and they can smash dingers. You got the Red Sox.
Did you guys sign Big Al finally?
No, Big Al's maybe. The Red Sox.
Where would Big Al be in your lineup right now? He'd be high up, right?
Oh, he'd be batting second, probably fatter than usual. The Red Sox, credit to their management, they brought in some talent that's worked. In the Tampa Bay Rays, which I despise the Rays and what they've done to baseball, they win. They continue to win. They actually got aggressive here over the last few days too.
And not only do they win, but they're making the appropriate. They bring in Nelson Cruz. I mean, he is 87 years old, but he can still hit. And now they got a power hitter, and all. It's insane. Man, I gotta tell you, it's sad to see the way the Yankees can kind of start to show a little bit of a streak of win and then regress back to the mean. Like if you don't win today with Cole on the mound, I think they could spiral. And that's where, what Brian Katie asked, that's where I think you could kind of look at it and go, all right, at least start fielding offers. But who are the guys? Like if you're a Yankee fan, they're not calling you, looking for the randoms. They're going to call you looking for Judge. They're going to call you looking for Glaber. They're going to call you looking for Sanchez. They're going to call you looking for the guys that you own a jersey of. And that's who they're going to want. So I don't think you punt necessarily, but again, if they're spiraling the drain and you can bring in like top tier talent and get rid of, I don't even know who I would shed, to be honest with you. Like, I don't even know the exact guy that I'd be like, blow that guy out, because it's still the kind of a team that you know.
One time, for old time's sake, Clint Frazier, huh? Let's do it for the 5th year in a row. Clint Frazier.
That, I mean, in all sincerity, he's probably the guy that you could do, but he's been banged up, and what do you get for him? Esteban Florial's probably a guy, but you're finally seeing him out there. Like, nobody's calling you for Brett Gardner.
No,
nobody's calling up going, hey, I'd like what's left of Brett Gardner on the team. Nobody, Ryan Lamar, I don't think he's going to get a lot of love. Like, these are the guys that you would probably, if you're a fan, pull a Corey from. I'm sorry, I heard him on the radio today. Corey from New York, not Corey from Greenwich. He calls us Corey from New York when he calls earlier in the day.
On the national show?
Yeah,
oh,
he was on that like caller roulette thing they do in the morning.
Oh my!
But
goodness.
like people are looking for, Odor's put himself back together. They're looking for him. They're looking for Glaber. Tyler Wade probably has a lot of value on a lot of teams. Tyler Wade's an everyday player, but you're not going to get Tom back. The injuries, the COVID, everything's going crazy with the Yankees right now. Win this series, or at least tie this series, and then get rolling again.
By the way, if you want to watch Yankees-Red Sox, available on the TVs right here at the Hideaway Saratoga League Golf Club. Come by. Our show's going to wrap somewhere around the next. I thought you
were about to screw up and say where we used to work.
No, hour and a half. So there's TVs. You can watch the game with us. I'm going to be hanging out for a little bit. I'll convince you to hang out as well. I'm not doing well with diapers, so the longer I stay here and I'm out of my cage, as I call it, away from my wife, it'll be more fun.
Rob from Lakeland has hit us up on the comments.
Michigan fan.
Yeah. He thinks this is the year that the Michigan Wolverines beat the. I think you spelled Buckeyes wrong. I don't know why. I feel like you might have spelled Buckeyes wrong on that one.
Don't worry, Rob. College football is just around the corner. You and Rob will be talking, Levack, about your Wolverines very soon. Get a quarterback. That's all you guys need.
Jon Snow. I don't usually make an effort to try and connect like this, but I really missed this Sterling commentary that you provided. I thought you meant the John Sterling commentary, Susan. And he said he misses us. So here we are. There's no reason to miss us anymore. We're here. We're going to be here at least once a week, maybe more, depending upon somebody's schedule.
Also, my wife wrote into the show. Thank you for listening, Jordan. She said, "Stop waving to the camera. You look like a goof." I'll wave one more time. It's my finger. Is that why the finger won't? I'm sorry. That's how my finger is. I'll keep waving everyone.
I just want to say that woman chose you and had a child with you. So how goofy can he be?
That's right.
I'm saying, yeah, goofy lover. Goofy lover. That's all that is. We talk about the Yankees having COVID issues as we're live here from the Hideaway Saratoga Golf Club. You can see us on the Techies Fire and Water Restoration Facebook page, Godzilla Media's YouTube, or you could just, grow a set, get in the car, come hang out, have a couple beverages, eat some great food at the Hideaway. That's what I'm saying. Maybe some bourbon, maybe some Yankee Distillery Prairie. That give me a free one, Kirk? Is that no? All right. Listen. Totally worth paying for. I just won't because I know he'll give it to me. So
you want to talk about the NFL as well?
I think we have to.
I didn't want to. I wanted to dodge like a scared girl away from this story, but you are right. It is in the news, and it is the most talked about story today in sports nationally.
So the NFL sent a memo out, doubled down. I mean, and let's be real. This is the situation is we're all freaking out, or I shouldn't say everyone's freaking out, but a lot of people are freaking out. Are you out of here? All right,
it's
fine.
Legend Tom Kirka.
Okay, please leave. Watch where you're going.
Social media.
Please have the squad car waiting out front for him for his ride home. That'd be
scent that just left.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
Like a college dorm,
like a skunk, like a really, really, really aggressive skunk. Just went by. Here's the thing: like everybody's freaking out because the NFL sends the memo out, and the bottom line is this: if you do not get vaccinated as a player, as a coach, as a member of the traveling parties and all that, and your team has to miss a game, they're not going to reschedule this year. They're going to go forward. You lose that game, you lose that money, and the team you're playing loses that game and loses that money too. You don't get paid. Now, if you're vaccinated and that happens, I guess they're going to work with you a little bit. It's fine. This is not too far from the policy that was already in place. They're just reiterating it, maybe doubling down a little bit. I guess I don't have a problem with it. I know a lot of people are freaked out about it. Like you can't keep somebody from making a living. And, DeAndre Hopkins is out there saying, he's not going to play like this and all that stuff. NFL's a business. And the best way to keep that business working, keep everything going is to be on the field. And if this is what your employer says you have to do to stay on the field, or you can work somewhere else, I guess I'm okay with it.
That's it. It's as simple as that. This is not and please don't litter our comments with
go ahead. I don't
anti-vax versus vax people. I do not want the rest. Okay, Levack wants it to happen.
I love it.
Okay.
I love to know who to stay away from.
That's not what this should be about. Exactly what you said. Your employer has said, hey, as a Arizona Cardinal player, you as a Minnesota Viking coach. Now, just to clarify for some of this, there's a tier 1 for the coaches. Right. And the players still at this point have the option. But as you just said, if there's an outbreak, forfeit. You lose the game. It's on you.
Right.
That is what your employer is telling you to help not just your employer again, but your teammates, your city, and everyone around you. We talk about players in professional sports willing to sacrifice, play through injury, wake up at wild times in the morning, not see their families on holidays. So athletes are willing to do all these things. Like, I'm ready to sacrifice for whatever it means. What about getting vaccinated? Whoa, hang on. Let's not get crazy. That's kind of what it says for some athletes. Again, it's your policy. It's your right. It's whatever you want to do to get vaccinated or not vaccinated. But as you just laid out very well there, if your employer, if your team, if your city is saying this is going to hurt us if you don't do it, we are recommending you do this and you have to do it. I'm sorry. Like that's just the policy they put in front of you.
Yeah, it's and maybe it's because I grew up in New York, which is an at-will employment state. So it's like you can lose your job for any reason in New York, basically. Like obviously not race, sexual orientation, age, stuff like that. But like if I go into my boss tomorrow and I say I refuse to get vaccinated, they go, well, it's our policy. And I go, yeah, well, I'm not going to do it. Okay, here's your choice. Be employed here, find other and get vaccinated, or find other employment. I know there's going to be lawsuits over it, and who knows? People might actually win. What Dennison, the assistant coach in Minnesota, who refused to be vaccinated, he's been let go. I know he's going to have a lawsuit. He might win some money. but he's not going to be coaching the Vikings. It's just not going to happen. And he might not win money. There's such a push to get the vaccine out there. And I'm vaccinated, so that's another reason I probably I've said this on the show for years. I've never been a guy who's like anti-vax, but I remember a guy who went and looked for vaccine, like a flu vaccine and that stuff. If I happen to be at the doctor and they go, you want it? Sure, why? Whatever, I don't care. So I don't really have like a strong stance, vax or anti-vax. I just know that I want football. And I know that if this is the way they think they can get through a 17-game season with a Super Bowl and everything else, I'm all right with it. I'm okay with it.
Should it at least be private whether or not you're vaccinated or unvaccinated? Because we're in a league that discloses injuries, and whether it's disclosed because of competitive advantages or it's disclosed because of gambling, that could be a debate for whoever wants to debate it. Probably a little mix of both. But the problem I feel like that's coming out now in the NFL is it's flat out in front of you. Like regular, we'll say American citizens who are not employed by professional sports teams don't have to tell you whether or not they're vaccinated or unvaccinated, depending on where they work. But now we're getting people basically get outed. Like, hey, he's unvaccinated. He's unvaccinated.
Right.
Unless you're very vocal about it, like Cole Beasley is, which I think Cole Beasley's just got to chill. Like, dude, we get it. Like, just get off Twitter. We don't need that. Like, just go. You're good, man. That's the problem I'm seeing with this. And also that goes to the second fold, too, of media members. Here's what's happening. And I don't even like because of how polarized it is, but 5 years ago, Colin Kaepernick became the ultimate go-to when it came to digital traffic, where if anyone ever said his name, comments would flood because of how polarized he was.
Right.
What's happening now for reporters is they know if they ask a player, hey, are you vaccinated or unvaccinated? What do you think? They know they're going to get a response or reaction on Twitter, Facebook, and their articles. I don't like the idea of even reporters asking players whether or not they're vaccinated or unvaccinated. And that goes for coaches, too, because they're going for the low-hanging fruit of, I know how many clicks on my article.
Right.
Get people worked up in the comments section about the vaccination.
Yeah, it is. It definitely becomes a tool of that ilk as well. And no, I don't think we necessarily deserve to know who's vaccinated or not. The threshold's been set. If a team meets the threshold, then they're supposed to be safe. They're supposed to be fine. Typically, HIPAA laws would state you can't have those things out there, medical records, those things. But as you mentioned, we get their medical records every single week. So-and-so hamstring pull, so-and-so right leg soreness, so-and-so concussion protocol. The NFL is different. And one of the reasons, look, forget political, forget getting to the Super Bowl, all those other things. How many gambling partners does the NFL have right now? And the answer is a lot. Mm-hmm. And then the next answer is more by the time the season starts. They want to not have a situation where, the Tennessee Titans are being pulled off the board. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the Las Vegas Raiders are being pulled off the board because of a COVID outbreak. They also would love to have a scenario where every time you see their name, you're not thinking of, didn't Cole Beasley miss a game with COVID? Didn't so-and-so miss? They want to get ahead of it. They want to get their season going. And they want to make sure that when you're gambling and they get their kickback from whatever gambling company you're working with, they're getting that money. And, I mean, if I'm already aware of your hamstring pulls, your concussions, how far am I from the NFL just going, all right, here's the 53-man roster. Vax, not vax, 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 not vax, not vax. Like, I mean, how far from it are we really?
I hope we're far away, but the gambling part is really trickier because releasing that much information, I don't know if you want to put your players on the defensive like that, or maybe that's their last-ditch move. Like, okay, guys, we've done everything we can to get you vaccinated. Here you go. Now you're going to be on the unvaccinated list. Get ready for your social media to light up. Get ready for people, the talking heads in the pregame shows to say, here is the dirty list of the unvaccinated. Like, that's what that will be. And I don't know if that's a good enough pressure to make that happen. Public shaming has always helped people, I guess.
Well, and remember, that narrative is going to be split to, here are these dirty people who want to kill your grandma by not being vaccinated. And the other ones, here are the freedom warriors who have chosen, it's realistically however you see it at that point. But I would love to get to a point where we just talk about football. I would love to get there. And hopefully we'll get there, sooner than later. But right now, you're 100% correct. The conversation going into training camp, going into Hard Knocks featuring the Dallas Cowboys for the 50th time, is going to be who's vaccinated, who's not vaccinated.
I don't love it, but football is just around the corner. Also, before we get to another big football topic, I see my dad has figured out how to work the technology. My dad wrote into the show. He wants to know, am I hashtagging? No.
Yeah, sure. It's all right. Yeah. By the way, I'm glad that number 2 is on here, CrossFit Kringle, because I've noticed I've been shown pictures of you having you and the missus full conversations with Tom Gurke, this one and the other one. I walk in the room, your mother hits the ripcord, she's gone. Like, she don't want to talk to me. Your dad only talks to me if we're on a bus trip and he's trapped with me. What happened to our love? I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like what's going on around
Maybe
here.
he'll come to a live show soon. He'll do just burpees for everybody. They'll throw money at him like the performers on the streets. My dad will do burpees for cash.
I don't want to see your dad work out. I don't want to see your dad. Your dad already has the ability to put me under the table with beers. I don't need him to do it with burpees. I don't need that at all. CrossFit Kringle can straight hold his own. Rob from Lakeland. Coach Tom, this is Bush League.
He's talking about the story of when my dad got thrown out of a 10-year-old Little League game by a one-armed umpire.
Really? It's kind of impressive, to be perfectly honest with you. It really
out loud without giving context. I'm just going to let everyone's imagination run wild.
Just let that one breathe. I mean, that's pretty impressive. That's a great story to have.
We mentioned the NFL. Is Aaron Rodgers coming to camp?
Is Aaron Rodgers coming to camp?
We got to find out by next Wednesday. We're going to find out whether or not Aaron Rodgers is showing up to training camp for the Green Bay Packers.
I got to tell you, I thought for sure the problem there. By the way, we're live from the Hideaway. We're going to be here as long as it takes. We're definitely up to hanging out with you and maybe a little Yankee Sox baseball here at the Hideaway Saratoga Golf Club. Live on the Techie Fire and Water Restoration Facebook page, as well as Godzilla Media's YouTube, which you probably already know that because you're listening or watching on it. I thought when he got offered cash, this would all go away. I thought this was one of those things where there wasn't a lot of guaranteed money left on this contract. The smart move would be make enough of a stink, be enough of a problem that they at least guarantee what's left of your deal. All reports are not only that guarantee what's left of your deal, he would have been the highest paid player for the remainder of this contract with an extension. And he still said no.
Ever in the history of the NFL.
Yeah.
The highest paid player in the history of the NFL.
And he said no. So either I'm still right and it just wasn't enough more, or he just is done. The Tim Jones beer drop. I just texted Tim at the Hideaway because he's known as one of the best beer aficionados out there.
Whoa,
and I said, when is the drop?
Thank you, Tim. Please, unless you wanted that.
Okay. Do you want to be on camera or no?
Just so people can say, where's the beer aficionado?
All right.
Thank you.
So this is what he just brought to us. If you're ever at the Hideaway, he thought I was going to cheers you. Here, I'll cheers you.
No, it's too late now. It's a pity cheers.
No, it is. It 100% is. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm not afraid. But Tim is like, if you ever come in, you want to put that on and tell us?
No, it's too late.
All right. This is really cool. If you're one of those people who loves new, different beers and you're always like looking for something to try, tell Tim what you like, and he's got something. He's always got something.
He's got a gift in his brain where he can just do the math and then get you the beer and spit it right out.
He's the beer guy. Beer guys ask questions about beer.
For real.
He gets stuff from like other states and whatnot.
Back to the Rodgers thing. You're talking about the money, where it's like it's done about the money, because that contract would have taken him into his 40s. He would have gotten everything he wanted. He is at the point where he is never going to play for the Green Bay Packers again, because this has been documented throughout his career.
You don't think he shows up one more run?
I feel like at this point he's going to retire. He's going to basically pull a Carson Palmer, and you know this better than anybody as a Raider fan. Yeah. I think he's going to pull the Carson Palmer, where he's going to say, I'm retired. I'm never putting on a Packer uniform again. If you want me to sit for a season and you have my rights, kind of like Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders did for the Lions, cool. I'll sit for this year. Contract-wise, it does make more sense for you guys to trade me in 2022, because you can figure out what you want to do with Jordan Love, because you actually got to get on the field and you can play with his contract. I got some stuff at the end, dead money and all that stuff we don't have to bore you with, but it makes more sense to trade him next year.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, throughout the entire season, every practice, every game, every throw is going to be analyzed, and especially when a guy like Matt LaFleur, who record-wise has been one of the best coaches ever to start an NFL career. Any decision Matt LaFleur makes, and by the way, a Packer fan just walked in with a mask. Any decision Matt LaFleur makes,
that's not because of COVID. He's just sick of the way his team smells without Rodgers.
It's going to be questioned. Rodgers does not want to hear that nonsense. Even his boy Pat McAfee, who hops on his station once a week on Sirius, McAfee's going to have to ask him about it. I don't think Rodgers wants to deal with that
He
anymore.
texted McAfee something about he kind of enjoys playing golf and not worrying about all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, and then look, the fiance's got a little cash.
Shailene Woodley, right.
She's got a little money out there. She's tweeting nasty things about the Packers. Her mom is as well.
She's full of it, by the way. She said she's never seen a football game in her life until Rodgers and her were dating. Liar, liar.
I know people who have never watched a football game. I
Ever?
do. Oh, yeah.
Are they aliens?
No, they just don't make a lot of sense to me.
Oh,
They're nerds, I think is what we call them in the industry. Nerds. No, I gotta tell you, man, I think there is I think he still shows up. I really do.
Ooh.
I think he shows up. I just think there's gotta be a way he goes out there and plays at least one more. It's one thing to walk away after a Super Bowl. I mean, sure, you're the MVP and everything else, but like now Devontae Adams isn't gonna go. Like all these things are going on. Like Devontae Adams literally said, figure it out with Rodgers before you talk to me. Like I somehow believe he shows up. At least even if he's miserable, I think he shows up. And I feel like if I'm another team, I'm willing to take a swing. Like what do you want? And then if I can't guarantee he's going to be on the field, maybe I go with I might give you a 3rd round pick, a high 3rd, and a 5, just to talk to him. Just to see, like, hey, there's no guarantee he plays. I'll give you a 3 and a 5. Like, if he's going to play, I'll give you 3 1s. I'll give you 4 1, whatever. He is just better than almost every other quarterback out there.
I love Tom Brady. I saw the impact Brady had on my Buccaneers to lead them to a Super Bowl. Shout out to Shannon, our girl, also a Buccaneer fan.
Yep.
At
the Hideaway.
Rodgers is better. Rodgers is better at this point in his career.
Yeah.
So all those things would be worth it. By the way, if you're a Packer fan and you're listening on a replay on Apple or Spotify, at the Jeff Levack on Twitter, Levack, at Tom Goz, TomGozz. Are you pissed off if you're a Packer fan?
100%.
Because I think if you're a Packer fan,
you should be penciling in a playoff run right now. And your defense is not that good. Your team without Rodgers and Adams is not that good. But Adams and Rodgers on that field, you should be in the playoffs.
Well, it's a combination of two things, right? Because Rodgers, for some Packer fans, may be hitting Favre territory. Because if you're a Packer fan, you're like, what more do you want for us to do? Because I get it. We treated you terribly early in your career, according to Aaron. Right, exactly right. In your mind.
Here's all the money.
Yeah. But Favre kind of held the franchise hostage because he was playing that game of whether or not I'm going to retire or unretire.
Yeah.
That's happening right now for Green Bay.
Right, because he can just say I retire. If he's not coming back, retire.
Yep.
Or there's something, I don't know what it is. That, to your point, there's something they can do to get him on that field, whether it's for them or someone else. It's clearly not a boatload of money. Is it a jumbo jet load of money? Like what? It's something. Is there a friend he wants signed? Like, does he want Shailene Woodley to play, free safety? Like, what? There's something he wants, or else he would just retire. He would just take the Jeopardy job and be done with it. Which I didn't think he was that good on, by the way. I'm just putting that out there. I thought he was stale as all hell. But that's look, that's neither here nor there, I suppose. But I think there are a lot of Packer fans who still kind of look at it and go, "Doesn't matter what he wants. Get him out there. It's your fault because you haven't got him out there." So I think it's a mixed bag. I know there's the guy you're talking about out there too. Like, I'd play for free for the Packers. That's why I got the plaque on the wall that says I'm an owner. And you won. You had $25 million coming. Now you got $60 million. Whatever the hell. How dare you? And they eat a big chunk of cheese right in front of everybody.
My buddy Dixon, shout out to him and his newborn son Henry and Aggie and all them back.
What up, Henry?
He's an owner of the Packers, but he's like 165th of the 1,000th. Yeah. I want some of the Packer fans, like you just said, to just storm Lambeau. We own 165th of the franchise. You better get out there, Aaron, or else.
What would you rather? All right, so that's like a symbolic owning, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
What would you rather symbolically own? That much of your team, or there's a, I'm Scottish. You can buy like that much land in Scotland, and it makes you a lord because you own land in Scotland. I think I want to be a lord, right? Lord Levack, you know how unbearable I'd be. Remember we got the championship rings for the Empire? I was ridiculous. Can you imagine if I was Lord Levack? I'd wear it around my neck like I was a rapper and it was my chain.
I would go with the second one only under one stipulation.
Lord Gozlowski III.
Can I plant the Godzilla Media flag on that part of land and just wave it around?
I'm not positive the amount of land you would own would be wide enough for a flagpole. I'm not, but yes, I guess it's your land.
Deal.
You get what you do. You get Chad, Tim, Chris, and Trout over here at the Hideaway to make little Godzilla drink flags, and then that would fit like on a toothpick.
Okay.
Right there. Like Tim looked up. He liked the
You
idea.
can pay for it. No problem, man. Go right ahead. Levack volunteered you for it.
Yeah, I'm like I think I was a pretty expensive free agent signing for Godzilla Media. So
I was going to say your talent fees. Congratulations, you've actually earned your talent fees here for Godzilla Media, so I get to pay you.
Oh, you actually are going to pay me?
Yeah, I'm going to pay you. My wallet's out in the car. So
I've been hearing that for how many years have we been friends now? Was it like 6, 7? I've been hearing that for 7 years. Oh, I know my wallet's around here. I'll Venmo you. No one. I was like, I don't care. Go away.
What's your name on Venmo again?
Yeah. What's my name? Jeff-Levack.
What's
Yeah.
wrong with the Wi-Fi here? I don't know.
I'm with your wife. You look like a dork.
Oh, one other big story involving the state of Wisconsin, Levack, before we get to the list here. And we talk about our friends over at Mohawk County and some other friends here on Godzilla Media and Tech East. The Milwaukee Bucks, they are NBA champions.
Let's talk legacy.
Who's the GOAT?
I love that they won, but you ready to really piss off a lot of people.
Uh-oh.
I would put a bigger COVID asterisk on this season than last season. I would put a bigger COVID asterisk on this season than when they were in the bubble.
What? Tell me about this.
All the good players played so deep into the season last year, they were burned out and hurt for this year. Nobody was right. Nobody was ready. Half the people were scared to death. I think this is if you want to put an asterisk on the bubble, you got to put a bigger asterisk on this year. I think you tell me that Brooklyn, the Lakers, all those teams, any of them are healthy all the way through, that the Bucks can win this thing.
Okay, do I think the Lakers would have beaten the Suns with a healthy Anthony Davis? LeBron had never lost in the first round of the playoffs in his entire career.
He was all banged up.
I even picked the Lakers to beat the Suns without Anthony Davis because of the respect for LeBron. So I think it's a fair argument. For the East side of it, though, like who would have taken out Milwaukee? Ben Simmons stunk. You mentioned Brooklyn. I wanted Brooklyn to get pounded because I can't stand Harden, Kyrie, and Durant individually. And the fact they were all on one team was even more ridiculous. So I was fine with them losing. I would have rooted against them. But you're right. Brooklyn would have been the biggest test to them, and they took them deep in that series. I still feel like Milwaukee could have come out of the East. Now, we would have seen Greek Freak versus Anthony Davis and LeBron versus Middleton. Advantage LeBron. If I had to pick one team to take him out, it still would have been the Lakers, but it didn't happen. Like, we could go through that scenario of what you're talking about of injuries and blown calls and baskets going in and no fouls for any sport. I'm going to give Milwaukee credit. And I thought you loved Mallory Eden. I thought that was your girl. Or Molly Eden.
I love her. I love Antemekumpo. I love them. I love them all. But I still think that you got to look at this season a little bit, a little side eye. I don't know. I mean, look, you want me to slap myself in the evidence? This was a weird year. Did you see how good the Knicks were? Did you see how good the Knicks were? All right, who saw that coming? Right, Julius Randle. There was weeks where he was the best player in the NBA. Now those weeks everyone was hurt or Harden was fat, but it was just a weird season. I don't want to take anything away from Milwaukee, but I just did. They got dogs.
That 50 burger, the Greek Freak drop, though, that is a legendary. When they roll back the footage of, there's not an isolated moment like the Ray Allen shot or the sky hook and all these great moments of the NBA Finals that's probably going to be played back. But that game individually is going to be talked about for 20, 25 years. When we talk about those lists of an all-time starting five or a 50 greatest players, however you want to do it, now the Greek Freak is in that conversation of, wait a second, if I built an all-time starting five and you're telling me I get a power forward who can dribble, shoot, score, beat somebody one-on-one.
Oh, and by the way, it's still getting better.
Right. There's probably going to be a conversation. Maybe it depends on how many championships he wins because this guy still has the advantage, but at least people like in their 30s to 40s can compare like a guy like Tim Duncan to the Greek Freak. Where Tim Duncan won 5 NBA
I like the Shaq comparison better.
Shaq's stats are spot on with Greek Freak. Yeah, I think Shaq is statistically a better comparison. Yep.
Which I don't think he gets enough, at least. I'm always going to put the best player all time. For me, it's Jordan, LeBron. I'll have the Kobe conversation with you if you want to. But everyone should at least go, Shaq was pretty amazing. There's a decade or so where he was the most unstoppable offensive force in all of basketball.
If Shaq played when Wilt Chamberlain played and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played, a.k.a. Lou Alcindor, Shaq would have looked like an alien. Like no one would have even been able to – he would have been the Babe Ruth of those eras. And I get Kareem and Wilt. There's a significant difference there.
Right.
Bill Russ and all that stuff.
But the size, the way they did it.
But if Shaq played now, Would he be Zion? Like, what would you like? Shaq would be shooting threes. The Lopez twins are shooting threes.
Well, Shaq couldn't hit a free throw.
No.
Think about how high he is on the point total if he hits free throws at like 70%.
Yeah.
It's 70 from the charity stripe. 70%. He's rockets up the scoring title board. Good for Milwaukee. Good for my girl Mallory Eden. How you doing? Call her brother.
Co-owner, what is she? What is her title now for the Bucks? Why wasn't she out there for the trophy presentation?
Well,
They
she's
got these
daughter
dorks out
of the
there.
owner,
Oh, yeah.
I think. So like when we, as president of the fan club, Monty just said, guys, sell all your Bitcoin and you can buy 2 plots of land in Scotland. He can't. He really can't. He won't. And then you can plant your flag in Scotland. Tim is leaving the
Goodbye,
building.
Tim. Heads up to you.
He wouldn't come on the show.
He wanted these guys in the Hideaway do not like being on the show. So that makes it even funnier when you come to the Hideaway and be like, "Are you one of the people who wouldn't come on the Levack and Goz show?"
Yeah,
double embarrassment.
I will. There's some beautiful women working here today. Talented and brilliant and blah blah, but really hot. And I mean, not that you would notice because you're very happily married.
I'm happily married. That's right.
And they all every time you go to wave, they like run away. So it's weird, but no, yeah, good for Milwaukee though. Good for Milwaukee. Now, next, take a lesson. Stop ticking off the guys from Greece and everywhere else. So they'll come play for the Knicks, and we'll win some things. I feel like it's time to tell you that you can watch this at Techie's Fire and Water Restoration's Facebook page. They're their best way back to normal. You can check them out online.
Firewater.com.
That's the website. That's where it is right there. I was in the office earlier today. Our guy Jeremy was out doing tree removal late last night. Last week, I actually got called into action because of all the rainstorms.
Whoa!
Yes, I was called into action. There was some flooding over at the RPI JEC building, and I was brought in to help. That's right, which literally meant Mongo lift, Mongo carry, because we have people on our staff at Techie's Fire and Water Restoration that are brilliant. They know where to plant, like how to do this, what to do this, the fastest way to where you pop a hole in a wall to get it dry fast, all those things, and then me going, how do I help? Carry this down there, stupid. Okay. And that was how I helped. But just amazing crew. Make sure you check us out on Facebook. You see some of the reviews. People always thrilled after Don, Jeremy, Paul, any of Bobby, all of our guys get in there and help them out. Techie's Fire and Water Restoration. Best way back to normal. Check them out online. TEFirewater.com.
As you mentioned, the damage in your house, whether there's fire, mold, water.
Mold is the thing. There's people don't even realize the amount of mold, because now it's so hot and muggy. And your house is all locked up and it's been raining, so the water gets in. Mold. There's mold, my friend.
Call them up, Techie's Fire and Water Restoration. Also, shout out to our friends over at Mohawk Honda.
I've heard of them.
They are always going out of their way to please you. Summer inventory is king at Mohawk Honda. So many people are looking to trade in their vehicles this summer. It's been a different year, about a year and a half, and some of you want to get into a new ride. It is worth the road trip. If you're listening to us in Canastota, to Watertown, to Herkimer, to Waterloo, take the drive. I see the numbers for you guys. We appreciate all the love here for Levack and Goz and Godzilla Media. Come to Mohawk on Freeman's Bridge Road in Glenville. Stop in, say hello to our guy, Greg Johnson, the McKennas, the Ellises, the Harridan family, and more. These are people Levack and I have worked with, and it's so great to have people in your corner, to have your back when you're going through the car buying experience or the trade-in process. You want to make sure you get the right trade-in price for your vehicle and you walk off the lot with a ride you absolutely love. I've done it. For those of you listening in the Syracuse area, you know how bad my rides were in Central New York. Ugh. The Pilot is the best vehicle I've ever had. I can still smell that Sentra. I can still smell it. It's still a thing. It's a terrifying smell. I'm happy to report my car no longer smells. Thanks to the good people at Mohawk Honda. Shout out to my guy John in service as well. It is worth the drive. You want to work with people that you can trust, and Mohawk Honda are those types of people where they always go out of their way to please you. Mohawk Honda.
Tom McGrath. Levack's knowledge of restoration is impressive. Yes, my knowledge is there's guys in the same, they got the Techie shirt. Ask them. I'm just here. Look, they have that logo, and they're smarter than I am.
By the way, shout out to our guy, Tom McGrath. He's been talking a little fantasy football junk.
Oh, yeah?
I think he wants to hop in on the Godzilla Media Fantasy Football League this August. Johnstone Supply in Troy. Oh, it's going to be a thing. Johnstone Supply in Troy this weekend especially. If you're looking to learn more about that company, Johnstone Supply in Troy, happy to announce partnership all the way with Godzilla Media and Levack and Goz. So get ready for future episodes. You'll learn more about Johnstone Supply in Troy coming up in future episodes.
So you're telling me my talent fee just went like 50 cents because you're gonna keep the rest? Is that what you're that what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
50 cents. Might be accurate. Who's running that gossip media?
I don't know, but you just made the list. We used to do a feature which would start right around 5 o'clock. It was like the 5 biggest stories. I don't remember what we called it.
I have no idea.
But what we'd like to do now, because Goz is always, always checking out headlines, always doing stuff, and I think you do. I mean, like your 4th different podcast a week. Goz's list. So we go through the news, and we run through, we hammer it out, and try to make sense of everything going on in the world.
I'm already cheating on the list because I had my list ready, and then news broke this morning involving a Major League Baseball team. I don't even know if I have a banner for this on our visual side, involving the formerly known as the Cleveland Indians, soon to be known as the Cleveland Guardians. Shout out to Drew Carey and Halle Berry and Justin Latta. That's all I got. And LeBron, technically he's from Akron. The Cleveland Indians, now to be known as the Cleveland Guardians. Over 100 years, the Cleveland baseball franchise has been known as the Indians. Our pal Alex Hooper, who used to cover the Indians, said they should just be called the Cleveland baseball team. But it is now the Cleveland Guardians. Levack, your thoughts on the new name and the new logo?
I want to put this delicately. I'm pissed off.
Ooh.
I'm pissed off. First off, I understand you had to get rid of Chief Wahoo. Chief Wahoo, very, very obvious stereotype. Very obvious, right? I get that. You had to do that. But you got to steal my favorite XFL franchise's name? You think that's okay? You think the Guardians aren't coming back? You're out of your mind. And I'll tell you what. My Guardians, your Guardians, the big cheese of my league versus you and Rob Manfred. I get the Rock. We settle this in a street fight. You sell us in the street. You can't just steal the Guardians' name. You're supposed to be the Spiders at least. Steal the Guardians. Where are they guarding us from, too? It's Cleveland. You should be guarding us from Cleveland. Nobody wants to go to Cleveland. How dare you steal that name?
Me, Jeff Levack, if you're listening in Ohio, Rip Levack.
Yeah, if you're listening in Ohio and you all of a sudden you're like, why toaster make noise? That's your computer, you jackass. It's the Guardians. There's nobody listening in Cleveland who's happy with this either.
They got me before. They got me on freezing cold takes. I've been on freezing cold takes.
You make a lot of bad takes.
Freezing cold takes. I said, what type of idiots would ever, and I mean ever think LeBron James is going to go back to Cleveland? Are you? And then just Cleveland toasted me. It's funny you take the Guardian take, because my answer was going to be, you know why I love the Cleveland Guardians? Because no one's ever been named the Guardians. There's never been a franchise. And then you forgot about the
you were there.
Game.
You were there.
I was the fan of the game.
Wearing your Saturday best. So who was it? Somebody came up and started talking about that the other day. That when you lost the bet because you thought there was no way I could get a busload of people to an XFL game, and Goz is in this white pimp hat, this weird red jacket, and I'm writing down announcements that he has to say to the whole bus on premiere. That was one of my favorite things. We got to do that again when that finally comes up. Now you admit it to me? Yeah,
man. Here comes the money. I like the name. I think it's okay. I think the logo stinks though. The logo's got to get switched. It's like a G over the baseball. The logo.
It looks like it's running or it's falling.
God.
It looks like a bad character on like a Game Boy.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
Like a Sonic Mutant or something.
Yeah, it's not good. And again, you stole the real team. You stole from us. So I'm not happy. I'm not happy with it. By the way, Jared's behind the bar here at the Hideaway today, and he keeps like gesturing like he's going to bring us something to drink, and then never does. Like he keeps like threatening, like he holds up a bottle. He's like, "Hey, I'm going to bring this over."
Is he calling you? He's on the phone right now.
Somebody's calling him and going, "Hey, Jared, can you stop teasing the guys with shots and just bring one over?"
So Cleveland Guardians stink. That's what we both agree on.
Yeah. I understood you had to get rid of Chief Wahoo, but how is Indian disrespectful? I guess I know it was. I guess I understand. They were never really Indians. They were Native Americans. I get all that, but there's a certain over the top wokeness to it. And then when you change it, you go for the Guardians. The biggest debate in my office today over at the Empire was, at least it's not the baseball team. At least it's not the baseball team. I'm fine with the Guardians as long as they don't call themselves the Cleveland baseball team.
Oh, and that's why I saw a lot of people had that take like, this is the worst nickname in sports. Nope, it's the Washington football team. That is the worst nickname in sports. Levack, I've got news involving one of your least favorite athletes of all time. That is Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger. Did you see the news involving Roethlisberger? I feel like I'm a stand-up.
What bathroom did he assault someone in this time?
I feel like I was Jay Leno there. Did you see the news? And just get like a higher pitched voice.
Did you see the news? Did you see this? Did you see it? You see it?
Ben Roethlisberger's lost weight. He's actually decided to
found it
focus
if he needs it.
on his health and his diet. A slim and trim Ben Roethlisberger. I didn't want to call him Big Ben. He looks good. He's got the first training camp photo of him looking like he's in good shape. He's decided this season he's going to go under center. He's not going to audible out of run plays. Levack, what do you make of Ben Roethlisberger, your boy, deciding to lose weight to benefit his career?
Do you buy any of this? Do you buy any of what he's saying? We all know Ben Roethlisberger is motivated by one thing, and that is love me. Tell me how special I am. Tell me I'm pretty. He's doing all this as long as everybody keeps telling him he's pretty and it's great. This is gonna be fine. The first time that they lose by double digits, he should be listed in the injury report as hurt by scoreboard. Like he's a turd. Like I know you can't get rid of him because you got to keep him to save the money and everything, but he is one of the worst human beings out there. I would like to fight Ben Roethlisberger. I would like to fight him. I'll fight him.
Can we stream it on Gospel Media and Tech East?
I'm gonna need more. I'm gonna need more than the stupid money you're trying to hand me now. I can tell you that.
Your hate for Roethlisberger was a slow burn for me. Originally, when you and I, like years ago, we're like, I don't know if I hate Roethlisberger as much as Levack does. And then story after story built up. I left out of that setup to this list story that there's also a report. I believe it's fan-sided. Matt Verderem may have had it. And Matt, if you didn't have it, if you're listening to this podcast, you can say, Goz, you're an idiot. You didn't have it. Most positive he did. Roethlisberger had a quote out there that said he's the most underappreciated quarterback of his era from a source. That's you. You're the source. Yeah. You told the reporter you were the most underappreciated. Like, there's nothing more Ben Roethlisberger than saying, I don't know. I just feel like I don't get the credit I deserve. Don't quote me on that. Say it's from the source. So you did that. You want to brag about eating healthy. You want to brag about that you're not going to audible out of run plays. Oh, because you're going to audible into just you throwing the football?
I'd like to see him audible into running. Like, and look, I know if you're watching, you're like, Levack, you're fat. Why are you picking a guy for being fat? Because I'm fat, but I'm a good person. He's fat and he's a turd. He's an absolute. I feel bad yelling turd in a restaurant.
You can yell turd.
No, not in a restaurant though. Like I feel like you can't yell fire in a movie theater, and you shouldn't yell turd in a restaurant. Can you imagine? Like, oh, this prime rib is amazing. By the way, prime rib special today. Prime rib is amazing. Turd. I'm not hungry anymore. I'm suddenly like turd is the moist of poop terms.
Yeah, even I like whispered. I thought it was gonna be tough and yell it. I was like turd. Yeah. CeCe Sabathia, by the way, here's an example, and I don't know if this is scientifically proven, but when CeCe lost weight, he wasn't as good as a pitcher. Yeah. Ben Roethlisberger, I'm actually rooting for him to do worse this season because he stunk.
That's why you're rooting for him to do worse?
I want some athletes to be fatter. I want an emergence. I want James Harden. When you and I were doing this on another, we'll call it traditional media platform.
We're on radio.
Okay. I don't know what that is anymore. I liked when Harden got fat. I want fatter athletes. I think athletes
you liked it because you got to do your James Oliver Harden or something. Olive Harden instead of Olive Garden.
James Harden arteries.
Yeah, you get to do all your fat jokes. I think there's definitely like an obsession with some of these guys to get in this like crazy phenomenal shape and then getting hurt, which is fun for a fat guy. Don't get me wrong, but I don't begrudge him because he's skinny. I just begrudge him because he's a sack of crap. Like that's who he is. I love when he sucks. He's actually poised. In all sincerity, he's poised to have a nice year. He's in better shape. He's actually the part where he would be health wise in his recovery from his injuries. He'll be able to put snap on the ball again this year. He's poised to have a nice year.
Physically, I get what you're saying. Yes, all those things add up. Here's why I'm pausing.
McGee, talking fatties. I came in at the right time.
Here's why I pause on the Roethlisberger having a successful season. Those guys in his class, Eli and Rivers, when it got bad for Eli, we all knew he was done.
Yeah.
Like it was a note. Okay, it's time. Rivers, Scott Hansen loves doing this joke, right? Like if you watch the NFL Red Zone, how many years in a row was it? Chargers trailing in the fourth quarter. Rivers needs a comeback. He does it, and then the Chargers blow it in the most miraculous.
Right.
But he always was slinging it. He played for the Colts last season, and like right around November, December, even though the games were inside, it was like, ooh,
yeah,
that's a Rivers comeback that didn't happen. For me, there's going to be a moment in like October, November where the Roethlisberger is going to be like, okay, it's over. Like you had a nice run. We'll see. Maybe
I want
our
you to
first
be
beer
right
match.
on this one so bad. It's rare that I want to be wrong when I disagree with you. Reasons Roethlisberger will progress longer. Okay, bigger, more physical guy, has the ability, to take those hits a little bit better. He's in better shape. He's fully healed. He's in a stable organization. Like Chargers are never stable. Giants have stable windows. Yeah.
Thank you, Jared. Yes. What I mean,
Jared's waving another bottle at us.
Jared looks like, here's a reference half the people.
Somebody must have called Jared and went, hey, they're talking about you on that stupid podcast, the Techies Facebook and Godzilla Media on YouTube.
He looks like Karrion Kross, who's the new up-and-coming WWE
yeah?
guy, who's doing the TikTok with the clock. He was just waving it to us like a crazy man over there.
Jared, by the way, I think Jared's the guy to call if you want to get a house or something, too.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I think he does all that stuff.
We move on to the list here, Levack.
I just want to say, so physically speaking, health speaking, all those things, he's built different, as the kids say.
Jared's built different.
Woo! Jared, they're not
Cheers,
going to see you on the camera. They're only going to see your shot.
Cheers.
That's it. All right, Jared here at the Hideaway.
Should we be promoting these shots? What are these shots of?
Ooh. That's why Boomer and Gio talk about that all the time. Woo! I'm not on any specific radio station, so I'm going to talk about all of them now. Come in, say hi to Jared, ask for Casamigos.
Good God.
He'll take good care of you as always. He's great back there. I think Ben's going to have what? All right. So wait, when did you think he would fall off? What week?
October. I would say week 6. I actually would run away from him in fantasy sports. I'd run away from him, Najee, and Juju. I think they're all going to stink this year.
I would take him as my second quarterback.
Get out. Really?
I would take him. I wouldn't.
Oh, so top, middle of the road this year, 15, 16. Okay.
Yeah, and I can see him being a guy that, if you're lucky enough to get a Mahomes or whoever like that, and you want to back it up and you want to their bye week, I think he's going to have a really solid season. I hate it. Pittsburgh's going to the playoffs. He's going to have a solid season.
Whoa. I was going to give you the shovel to hit Roethlisberger one more time and say, is he the worst quarterback in the AFC North? But I think I know the answer is no.
No.
Jackson, Baker, or Joe Burrow healthy? And that's a question mark on the third one.
Joe Burrow's health puts him beneath him. I'm not the biggest Lamar guy
or Baker. So
I'm not a Baker guy at all.
You hate the entire AFC North.
But the one thing I will say about Baker though is you've got a coaching staff that understands you and works with you and puts you in a position to be successful. One more year in that, I think he's going to be good. Honestly, I think I would probably go Lamar from the physicality, then Ben, then Baker, then Burrow. But if Burrow's 100% healthy, Burrow could be the best quarterback in that whole thing. But no, Pittsburgh's got a solid team, stable coaching, another year in the system for everybody. Watch Pittsburgh go to the playoffs.
We move on here on the list.
You just made the list.
To Deion Sanders, prime time. We got a Deion Sanders story to share, by the way, Levack does, involving the situation you had as a younger Levack with Deion. But a story came from SWAC Media Day. Deion Sanders is a college football coach now. And there was a media member who said Deion, and before he could finish the question, said, whoa. It's coach. You don't call Nick Saban Nick. You're not calling me Deion. The reporter fired back and said, yes, I do. I call him Nick. Okay, Deion. And then Deion got up and walked. I don't know if you saw that back and forth. Yeah. What do you make? Is Deion to blame? Is the reporter to blame? And where do you stand on the coach versus first name thing? Because you've done this like I have. We've interviewed coaches.
Yeah.
Curious to see for young people out there how they should handle this.
I've always been put a little respect on it. Call him coach. That's always been me. There are people in the industry that think you don't say coach, like you call them by their name because you're their contemporary in that moment. You're in charge of that interview. I think it's pretty obvious those two just don't like each other. I think there's something there. But Deion's a turd too. I mean, is anybody here? Nobody's listening. Deion is a turd. I know people who love Deion Sanders. Like from the second he answers the phone, praise the Lord, it's prime, stuff like that. I know people who love that guy. I have never had a good experience with him. I've never actually talked to someone who directly has had a good experience with him. He's an arrogant prick. And, I don't know who the reporter was. I don't know the name.
SWAC media reporter, right? Doesn't even matter. It's run SWAC media, right? He played it perfectly for a guy who wanted to get attention, not a guy who wanted to get an answer. So he didn't really do a great job either, because you should have got an answer out of your question out of him, then called him Deion again, and then you got both.
But no, Deion's he's so arrogant. He always has been. He always will be.
Those were two bulls all of a sudden. Like Deion thought he was going to bully that reporter,
Right?
And I'm not trying to like act like he's below Deion because of not knowing his name, but it was, hey, it's somebody who's on a lower level college football beat versus a Hall of Fame athlete. But I don't even want to say credit to the reporter because he stood his ground. Because if you are trying to do your job, and Deion, although not respectfully, said, in other words, please call me coach. Okay, you requested I call you coach, I will call you coach to get what I need to do to do my job. The reporter decided to stick out his chest and said, no, I'll call you D.
I like
Jim Rome, Jim Everett, Chris Everett, almost like it. They were physically in front of each other.
Except for would he do it? Yeah, would he do it if he was right there? That's a better. Mm-hmm. I like that he did it. I like that. I think he felt puffy and he did it. I don't have a problem with it. I just think you do the, pardon me. What are you going to do in this blah, blah, blah situation? This, that, and the other thing. All right, Deion. And then, and then you get both.
I would say this. I'm like you. Coach all day long. If you feel like maybe you've had a situation outside of the media job, maybe you've had beers, maybe you've had dinner. You and I are a little different on that. You've had more experience with the coaches or like outside of that setting where you might feel comfortable calling them not coach. I think two that jumped to my mind quick are Greg Gattuso for Albany. I still call him coach. I think, and Allie Jacks, formerly of Siena. Those two in particular, those I like kind of lean towards. I'll call them coach all the time. But if they said, like, let's say Allie Jacks said, hey, can you call me Allie on this podcast? I would call her Allie. If she asked to be not called coach because maybe she's transitioning or something else, I would back off and not do that if she requested that.
Couple comments. Brian Katie kicking back to the Steelers. Deontay Johnson, the only guy worth anything in the offense for fantasy. You're wrong. You're damn wrong. How about Rob? He needs to earn respect in the coaching world to get to tell like Nick Saban has. Monty, king of the fan club. When a coach addresses me as engineer Monty, I'll address them as coach.
Okay.
Mike Crossman, nice Goz, NWO shirt, Goz. Is there a place they can get those? I
have no idea what you mean by that legally. I have no idea. But Mike, DM me on a social media account. We'll figure out something if you like that shirt.
I think when you get hired as a coach, you get that. Toots McGee, Bart Scott had a good point the other day that coach is a title that's earned. Like doctor, given the amount of work these guys go through to be coaches, I do think that's fair. I agree that when you get hired as a coach, you're a coach.
But hang on, to Toots and Rob, I think they're both right in the same way.
Okay.
Toots is right that you have to earn that like a father, like a doctor, like a professor. But Rob's right because Deion didn't do any of that. They hired Deion, and I want to say it's Jackson State. I keep forgetting the name of the school. I haven't even mentioned it. I think it's Jackson State. That Deion just got hired because he's Deion. He didn't break down film like Eric Spoelstra did for the Heat. He's not out there recruiting on the trail. He got hired because they thought, okay, Deion can bring in recruits, and you and I know this working with college athletes before. The thing that college athletes, especially Gen Zers, don't like is when the attention is not on them. Like, if you are not recruiting an 18-year-old and say, I'm the star of the program because I'm Deion Sanders, that's not a turn-on to teenagers. They want to be the stars of the program. They want to share it on social and put it on media.
We don't know if he knows what he wants to do out there, right? I mean, the guy knew defense. He knew, one of the best corners in the game. Now, of course, a lot of that was his physical ability to just dominate you, be faster than you, know where to be. But we don't know he didn't know. And they play well. They do their job. And part of being a coach is coaching your coaches. So if him being there it gets you better assistant coaches, I have no problem with calling him coach. He's a jerk. I love people teasing him and making him feel bad. That's fine. But he's a coach. If he wants to be called coach, that's fine. Again, the only problem I have with puffing back up to him, get your answer, then puff. It's a lot easier. You can write an article then and get all the social media love that you're getting.
That's
or hate.
Exactly right. And let's stay with the college football storyline here because nationally, the news broke from Bleacher Report, of all places. Bleacher Report is known to whiff. They didn't whiff on this one. The story, Oklahoma and Texas may be joining the SEC. Now, more reports have come out within the last 24 to 48 hours that this has actually been happening for 6 months. And within the next 7 days, it will be official that Texas and Oklahoma will join the SEC. Whether you hate it or you love it, conference realignment seems to be coming back. Whether or not this is directly because of the national decision to make name, image, and likeness available for college athletes, maybe. But Levack, let's sit on that. Texas, Oklahoma jumping to the SEC and overall college football realignment and college realignment. Good for the sport, bad for the sport. Do you hate the move? Do you love the move?
I'm so torn. I'm torn on this one because, look, obviously, if you're Texas and Oklahoma, this is your chance to shine on a grander stage. It's also your chance to have your teeth kicked in every week. So, as far as your hunger and going for it and trying to be the biggest, the baddest, the best, whatever, I respect it. I don't. Now that we're starting to flesh out the playoff picture to the point where we could have the winner of every Power 5 plus at-large bids out there playing for the national championship, this kind of sucks because now I'm only guaranteed, Bama, Georgia, Texas, or Oklahoma. I'm not guaranteed Bama and Texas.
Right.
I respect the ability to do it. I respect the belief in yourself that your program's going to be able to compete at that level and you want to get that money. But I don't think it's great as a fan to have, the Big 12 be that much weaker.
Yes, I agree with you on the Big 12 being weaker. But I feel like we gotta almost like pull this back a little bit when we talk about greed in college athletics. It seems as if Oklahoma and Texas somehow were not prepared for the NIL stuff, the name, image, likeness stuff. Because when you have such popular programs like the Sooners and the Longhorns are, not just in football, but in basketball as well, two programs that have gone to Final Fours over the last 20 years, they just weren't ready for this. You look at the list of teams that are profitable in college sports, Texas and Oklahoma are in the top 15, and Texas at times has been the most profitable college athletic program in the United States of America. Even though they're not winning national championships in either basketball or football, they're still profitable. But here's likely what happened. They knew a lot of the donor money or the local money was going to start getting handed to the quarterback, wide receiver, running back, and they're like, oh, I can swear. Oh, shit. Like, what are we going to do now? Like, we're going to hit to our pie. Okay, here's what we got to do. The Big 12's TV contract isn't as good.
Right.
The Big 12 doesn't have a Big 12 network on the scale that the SEC network does for ESPN. If television rights got the TV, it's still a big deal. Like, they want those TV rights to have happen. Okay, we're going to jump to the SEC just to make $20 more million or $30 more million. Okay, like that's straight out greed because of what you said. Oklahoma has not won a national championship under Lincoln Riley. As awesome as a coach as he is,
right.
And you and I both said, why is he not coaching the Cowboys?
Right.
That hasn't happened. Is Texas back? All right, cash in your ticket. You know, I waited kind of long on that.
I almost said it, but I knew you wanted it, so I let you have it.
Texas can't recruit. They haven't had a quarterback since Colt McCoy and Vince Young, and those are legends, obviously.
Right.
But those guys, with Texas A&M as being a real contender, they're going to struggle. The Big 12 can pick up Houston, which is a top 5 market, and be fine. They can find another Big 12.
Right.
Hell, get Boise State in there. Get Boise State and Houston, and the Big 12 will be just fine because you can get some TV markets going. But I think Texas and Oklahoma, you're going for greed, and you're going to get your ass kicked in the SEC because I don't know who you're going to be able to hang with.
Man. The bottom feeders, I guess? Because your program's that 1 week in a bowl game, a playoff game, a championship, you could beat the SEC. But week in and week out, 10, 12 games, they're going to stomp the lights out of you. It's going to be bad.
There was a part of me that thought it would be kind of cool if Nebraska jumped out of your Big 10 and jumped back to the Big 12 because it hasn't worked out for them.
Right.
It'd be fun if Missouri jumped out of the SEC back to the Big 12. But a lot of these schools aren't going to move because it's getting us back to money. Like, why the hell is Rutgers in the Big 10 to get pounded?
Right.
But it's money. Like, UConn would have loved. UConn's the greatest example of, imagine if UConn got in one of these things because they would have made a ton of money.
I think there should be, like, almost like that soccer relegation thing.
Ooh.
You know, like all right, you didn't win X amount of games, so you're out. Like, you know what I mean? We're going to, like, biggest loser. So you're out. You're out this year. And each conference should have to have a maximum number.
Can we combine the relegation to what the Seattle Kraken did where, okay, you're out. Now we're going to redraft all the players, and you're going to this school. Or everybody, like, repicks. I would have loved something like that.
I mean, it's just gotten to that point where, you know, like, I think your name should actually specify who you are. Like, when the Big 10 has 14 teams, like, you should actually – you should either be cut down to 10 or on your banner, it should say the Big 10 and these 4. You know, like, here's Rutgers. Here's the, you know, like, they suck. We let them come to the party because they knew the doorman, but they suck. Like, and as far as the SEC goes, Texas and Oklahoma, they paid for dinner, so we let them hang out. They paid.
Couldn't leave.
They paid the price. Yeah,
people care about them.
Right. We listen. this way we don't have to play Citadel twice.
I'm cool with blowing out the divisions if you're going to do that, by the way. If you want, if I get
Yeah.
LSU and Texas and Oklahoma and Alabama in this season, that is going to be pretty awesome. But
Well,
blow out the divisions.
how much closer are we to the point where SEC can just do whatever they want?
Yeah.
They already are pretty much there, but SEC could literally go to the NCAA and be like, we're out.
Our pal Tyler McComas over at Fox Sports Oklahoma had this awesome idea. He said every year they should redraft the leagues. So Mississippi State, Mississippi, Arkansas, all those could be 1 year all in one conference and all the stacked teams in another, which would be a lot of fun. The Olympics, Levack, started this morning. By the way, I got up at 5:30 in the morning.
Really? Wait. Hold on.
Sure.
Did you get up at 5:30 or did Rex get you up at 5:30? Did you plan on getting up? You set an alarm for opening ceremonies, or did your baby boy go, it's time to get up, Dad, and if you want to watch that while you take care of whatever else I want, fine.
So my wife and I decided this. By that, I mean, she told me I was going to do this. I work the night shift, I call it. So Rex doesn't sleep.
Right.
So I will take the shift from midnight to 4 a.m. I will handle it to let her sleep. She said, I got an idea. What if you sleep early and I'll handle it tonight? You don't have to get up. I said, okay.
Aww.
I said, awesome. All right, if that's what you want to do, I think it's a terrible idea, but I will do it. She hits me at 5:15 in the morning and says, you're getting up with him. He's up wide awake. And there's Rex Dada? Dada? And I'm all right, I guess I'm up. So, yes, I was up at 5:30.
My name means king. You name me, I'm the king.
Doug. Yeah. So also at 5:30 in the morning.
He calls you Doug?
No.
Come on, Doug. Mom and Doug. Everybody's gonna be like, wow, must be a new husband. Doug. I thought your name was Goz or Tom.
Gazi. 5:30 in the morning, I'm up. 6:40.
Who makes more money on Godzilla Media, Rex or me?
My wife, Jordan.
All right, that's fair.
I don't know what Rex actually makes. I think he gets paid in mac and cheese. So I'm watching the opening ceremonies. We did this last week. This might be a new segment. And by the way, for potential sponsors, Goz at GodzillaMedia.com. The scale, I'm calling it for Levack, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being you have zero interest in the Olympics, 10 being you're going to watch as many sports as possible. Rank your Olympic interest for the 2021 summer.
This is such all right.
Is that a bad scale? I can
No, but I can't my interest in the Olympics, 10. My ability to watch and actually try to watch it is probably a 1. So put me in a 5. I love the Olympics. You know me. Anytime I can wave the American flag, anytime I can tell everybody how much I love this country, even with its flaws, I'm in. I love the military. By the way, Saturday, July 31st at the Times-Union Center, color commentary for the Empire, on the field for the Empire, Military Appreciation Day, taking military ID to the box office at Times-Union Center, buy one, get one tickets. No limitations on where they are. You can get them, buy them wherever you want to freaking buy them, buy one, get one. Just put that out there since I'm talking about how much I love the country. No, but so I didn't know opening ceremonies were this morning. I love the Olympics. It's one of my favorite memories as a child is watching the Olympics with my family. Dad didn't say a word. Mom stared at the TV, whatever else is going on. But I watched the Olympics with my family religiously. I had no idea the opening ceremony was this morning.
That's right. And for those, by the way, who are listening outside of Capital Region, the reason why the Olympics are so popular in the Capital Region, the most popular, arguably, and it's been voted on, the most popular athlete in Albany history is an Olympian. Yeah,
Jeff Bladnick. And look, great guy all the way around. Plus, I mean, what are we? A couple hours from 2 hours from Placid, Lake Placid, and it's Plus, there's a patriotic feel to this area. I know you get downstate and it's a little more cry about everything, a little whatever. Upstate, we're some country loving, sons of guns up here. We love the flag. We love the people who love the flag.
I got a hot take about the Olympics. Do I get burned? Is a God's hot take.
That's sizzled. I felt that.
If you are a single guy or you're a guy in a relationship, this is the best sporting event to watch with your woman, your girl, your wife, fiance, girlfriend.
Okay.
The Olympics are incredibly popular with women's sports fans. Because think about this. If you look at the numbers, it's through the roof. The Olympics every single 4 years are the most watched amongst women sports fans because it makes sense. It's drama. It's a soap opera. It's storylines. It's the underdog. It's the pride of the country. It's sports that maybe aren't the conventional football, baseball, basketball, but athletes that you can root for, and sometimes they're younger athletes and sports you can compete with. And again, a balance between female and male athletes. So your girlfriend, wife, fiance may not be a huge NFL fan or an MLB fan, but she can get with the Olympics. She can pick up on that. Now, I'm not trying to generalize female sports fans, but what other event would it be? The WNBA Finals? The Women's World Cup? It is the Olympics by far. So, again, if you're in a relationship, try it. If you're single, let her drive it. Let her tell you how great the Olympics are. So, yes, I would put mine at a 6.9 for how excited I am about the Olympics. I didn't say that. I did not say broads love the Olympics. I did not say that.
If you're watching on Techies Fire and Water Restoration Facebook page or on Godzilla Media's
YouTube, seen the comments coming.
Goz is just we just our crack staff of editors and producers have just quoted Goz as saying, "Broads love the Olympics." That's what he said.
You know what? Let me dig my hole deeper now because I got some issues with the Olympics out of the gates. And this is an oldie, but
you never should have taught me.
Oh, don't you worry. Go ahead. I made myself a banner. I got an issue with Agnes. I got a big issue with Agnes from Hungary. This broad comes. This old.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Who the fuck is Agnes from?
For those who don't know, they trotted this old bag out on the Olympic coverage. She's a 100-year-old Hungarian gymnast, and she said, "Look at Agnes's eyes. She's seen all these great Olympic moments. Look at Agnes. She thinks she's the." Shut up, Agnes. She's like those old Cub fans they trotted out. I got issues with Agnes, this 100-year-old Hungarian gymnast. She didn't see any of this stuff. She didn't see shit when it was going on. Are you kidding me? She didn't see the miracle on ice. She didn't see Usain Bolt or Michael Phelps. They're acting like Angus is the greatest person of all time. Enough with Angus. I'll say this right now. Overrated.
Angus Young is from AC/DC. Agnes,
whatever her name is, from Hungary, the 1956 gymnast.
Well, they just quoted you again. Agnes is an old broad. I hate old people. Goz. I don't know. It's our producers. I don't know. We have a crack staff producer.
Stand her.
I haven't seen the Agnes thing. Like I didn't watch opening ceremonies. I woke up this morning, got ready, went to work, and trying to build a National Arena League champion, my friend. That's what I've been doing all day. So
I can't stand here, and this is going to be a way more controversial than my Agnes take. You know who else I can't stand is Naomi Osaka.
Oh, my God, wait, she's young though.
Enough.
I thought you only hated old people.
Right. No, don't edit that out.
You said right.
No, I didn't say that.
Right.
I had an issue with Agnes.
If our producers wanted to type that much, but you hate old people, right? You just admitted to it for the first time.
I'll edit that out in the audio version. Don't you worry.
He's a jerk. Don't trust him.
I wanted my guy Ichiro out there. I'm a big Ichiro fan. He's the greatest hitter in the history of baseball. They got Naomi Osaka out there.
I just want to be clear.
Yeah, sure.
It's because the Cubs fans. That's why you've always said that.
Yes.
You hate Cubs fans.
I didn't like that they brought these 90-year-old people out there.
You hate Cubs fans.
I've been waiting 100 years for the Cubs to win the World Series.
Yeah, you're a Cubs fan hater, and that's where it comes from. That's all it is.
There's
people near us that are older.
Oh, sorry. Okay, that's why. But here's the problem with Osaka, right? Naomi Osaka. I would have liked Ichiro or Hideki Matsui, who's out there. By the way,
love Hideki.
I do. I like those guys. Matsui's a part of the Olympic Flame, and by the way, if you missed it, it's on tonight at 7:30 in primetime on NBC. Naomi Osaka has the greatest honor of any person as an athlete in the country. She lit the Olympic flag.
Torch.
Thank you.
The lighting the flag would be bad. The Olympic flag, I don't know how much I would care, but the American flag, I have a problem.
I was thinking about the flag waving in the background.
You only had like 2 drinks.
I know, right? The Olympic torch. Thank you. So here's the problem with Naomi Osaka. If you remember, just a few months ago, she boycotted a major championship because of her issues with the press and not wanting to do interviews. Following that, she appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated, which she said was photographed months earlier than that. Fair enough.
Okay.
She also launched her own documentary about herself. Okay. And then she decided to light the Olympic torch. If you're somebody who is taking the stance that you don't want to handle the media or you don't want to be forced to do media, but then all of a sudden you decide to do the most highest profile gigs possible, I feel like you're being a baby and you just want to do the media when you want to do the media. She just wants to do it when it's convenient for her.
But that's the majority of athletes. And look, we are obnoxious. Media is pretty obnoxious. I mean, but it's part of the gig. I talk to enough people every day now that are like, I wish I could just focus on the game. I wish I could just focus on playing. I wish I could just focus on whatever. So I kind of get it. But at the same time, I don't care about her enough. You know what I mean? Like I guess maybe I don't care about the Olympics anymore. Maybe it is. Maybe I've gotten there. I don't know. I want to.
But you know what? You mentioned something. You work with the Empire players now. And this goes back to Albany athletes. This goes back to the athletes we've interviewed. Stop me if you think I'm wrong. I feel like there's a very easy line of I want to talk to the media. I don't want to talk to the media.
Yeah.
There's few, if ever, guys that say, I want to talk to the media when I feel like it, when I can present the way I want to. And maybe that's the new emergence of athletes, like the Gen Zers. There might be some athletes now with we'll go flip back quickly, the name, image, likeness. Like, I'll do a podcast. I'll do an Instagram show. I'll put out my own product. But I don't want to face criticism. Like, if someone says my product's bad, I don't want to hear that. I'll delete the comments. That's not healthy. Like, Naomi Osaka is saying, I'll do the questions and the answers when I feel like it. But if you put me in a spot where I can represent my brand the way I want to, that's not authentic. Like, people like me sniff that out in 2 seconds. And I don't think anyone's in her corner saying, oh boy, like, that's not the way you're supposed to do that. The real, again, according to her sister, the reason she pulled out of the French was that she didn't play well on clay. And they were like, oh no, you might play bad on clay. And that got in my head. And it was dude, get out of here with Naomi Osaka and her nonsense.
What is the Summer Olympic thing you're looking forward to most?
I kind of like baseball because baseball's been gone for a while. Like basketball and swimming and track and field, like the 100-meter dash is the king. I'm into the baseball games because baseball went away, and I want to see how these baseball teams across the world perform. The Dominican Republic, I know Israel's got a representative. The U.S. has got a team. I'm curious to see how these baseball teams perform. So I want to see how that all goes down. And I think the USA basketball team is going to be tested. If I can find some opening lines at Rivers Casino to see what they are, I actually don't want to bet against Team USA, but I would not feel confident as I have in previous years.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm most interested in, to be honest with you. I just want to be interested. You know what I mean? I just want to get back into it. And mind you, they're starting to hand the medals out today, but it's for like air rifle and air pistol. You know, it's not like, it's stuff that I can go buy at Walmart and compete in. I mean, obviously you can't buy those when some idiot's going to be like, you've never seen a tactical air rifle, then obviously you idiot, because you can never buy one of those from Walmart. You gotta go to Cabela's or Dick's Sporting Goods for that, you dumbass. Everybody knows that. How you gonna win that competition with a Walmart rifle? Stupid. That's I know it's coming. Judo. I'm kind of into judo.
Ronda Rousey's right. Ronda Rousey medaled in judo.
Judo. A lot of judo going on. The rowing. I'm a fan of rowing.
Great athletes. People underrate the crew people. They're in great shape.
Not to mention, just the scariest backs you've ever seen. Mm-hmm. Like the backs of a rower are frightening. Shooting, okay. Volleyball. I prefer beach volleyball. I'm not going to say why. Table tennis.
Beach volleyball might be out there, but both volleyballs.
But like beach volleyball. You know what I'm saying?
Table tennis. Are you good at ping pong? Table tennis?
No, because I don't care. I'm beer pong. Beer pong. I'm lights out. I'm Krisky. Sorry.
Olympic sports.
Badminton. Fencing. We just chased those people out of here. A lot of fencing.
Hang on.
We literally, I said dumbass, and she dragged her kid out.
Just get the play-by-play. You just screamed out dumbass. You haven't sworn the entire podcast.
Yeah.
You said one swear word today.
It's not even like a swear. I said dumbass on the air. But I feel okay because we're here at the Hideaway, and Chad was a big fan of us doing the podcast.
Yeah. Because
he wanted us to be able to say whatever we wanted. He put us in his dining room. That's his own damn fault. That's not my fault. You've offended the old people over here. I said dumbass. It's come to the Hideaway and watch Levack and Goz chase someone out and get you a better seat.
She went outside. They'll be fine, I think. Although their drinks are being put on the table.
Yeah.
We'll drink those. That's fine.
That's fine.
I got one more story on the list here.
All right.
Circles back to baseball.
Oh, beach volleyball. Where's that? Oh, it's coming up.
Oh, there it is. Yeah,
beach volleyball. Might be later tonight.
Nelson Cruz.
I don't know when you can watch it, though.
The trade to the Tampa Bay Rays. The slugger, the big hitter. Yankees-Red Sox tonight. You can watch the action right here at the Hideaway, Saratoga Lake Golf Club. Hang out with us. We're going to be here. If you've been watching on Facebook or YouTube, you're listening on a replay or Apple or Spotify, please come to the Hideaway this summer and enjoy their drink specials. Prime rib night on Thursday and Fridays as well. Levack, that shakeup, though. We've both criticized in the past the Rays about not being aggressive enough when it mattered the most. They've gotten aggressive now. Is that it? Is it a wrap? Is it over? Is it the Rays division to win? And can the Yankees, Red Sox, Jays catch them after this move?
I'm not going against the Red Sox anymore this year. They shouldn't be as good as they are. I mean, they've got talent. It's a talented roster. Don't get me wrong. They play great baseball. They play great baseball. They really, really do. Nelson Cruz, does he put them over the top? 1 game back, both teams 3-game win streaks. You know what, man? I feel like the Yankees are going to find a way. I feel like they're going to claw in somehow. I feel like Trevor Story is going to become a Yankee. Paston's reporting the Yankees have reached out. He's going to become a Yankee. It's going to light a spark. Yankees are going to take off. Severino's going to come back. You're going to have a monster pitching staff. Yankees are going to come back. Because I can't give you the division based on a 40. Was he 41?
Yeah,
41-year-old slugger. It's great that they did it, but I can't give you the division based on a 41-year-old slugger.
I'm glad you pointed out that the Red Sox have now leaped the Rays into the division when we're talking now, because I give that much confidence in the Rays, because I view the Rays now, and this is the most credit I've ever given this franchise. Again, if you've missed these takes before, I feel like the Rays have ruined baseball. The openers, the no-name players, their style, they're the least attractive team to watch, and when your best product is your least likely to watch, that's not good for the overall sport. I want to see home runs. I want to see flamethrowers. Teams like the Mets and the Yankees, I wish they would be Vlad Guerrero and the Padres and the Dodgers. Those are the teams I want to excel, the opposite of the Rays and the A's and teams like that. The Rays have turned into this guy at poker where you don't know what he's doing with the bet, and you kind of are just looking at him like, I don't know if you have anything. I don't know if Nelson Cruz is good. I don't know if you know what the rules of poker are. I feel like I want to fold just because you're getting so...
They bluffed you off the table so many times.
Yes, because they're doing a different style that you're not used to. And because of that unique style, you may not want to risk it. And because of Nelson Cruz, as you pointed out, a 40-plus-year-old player who can just smash home runs, if they feel like he was that big of an acquisition to this team and they feel like that's the first-place move, the Rays organization, know something that we don't. And I'm going to put faith in them for the first time in about 5+ years that that's the guy they want. Could they make a move for another arm? Sure, every baseball team wants to make a move for another arm. But right now, I would say the Rays are the favorite to win the AL East, and the Red Sox, Yankees, and Blue Jays are going to battle, and it's going to come down
What about
to the trade
you
deadline.
left the team out?
The Orioles?
They're only 27 games back, guys. The O's are only 27 games back. Think about this.
Okay.
Yankees have 27 World Series championships. The Orioles are 27 games back in July.
Here's what I'd say, Levack. Give you faith in your team. I will give you just talent on talent for the final 2 months of the season.
Okay.
I think the Rays will win the division.
Okay.
The Yankees will be a wild card team. The Red Sox will be a wild card team. I think the A's are going to get caught, even though the Yankees are 4.5 back.
Yeah.
I know Oakland usually gets hot in August and September. This has just been tradition.
Right.
But you got to think, isn't talent going to eventually catch up? And with the news of Oakland potentially moving, how much commitment's left in that franchise? They might sell more contracts, dump the whole thing with Chapman and Olsen, even though they're in contention, to just get ready for a move soon.
I'm not opposed to now that I've seen the way the Red Sox are playing this year, I'm not opposed to the 3 teams coming out of the East. I'm opposed to you saying that the Rays are the ones who are going to hands down win it. They did do the 41-year-old shuffle, though. So you take in 41-year-old Nelson Cruz, you ship 41-year-old Rich Hill over to the Mets. Mets are, man, look out for the freaking Mets.
Did you think the wheels were going to fall off when DeGrom hit the IL?
Yes.
I did too.
1 gajillion %. I thought that was how it was going to go down. Because, look, you can lose players, but you can't lose the best pitcher in baseball. Like, all right, most teams can't. But they're playing. The Mets are at a point right now where they're almost like that team that doesn't know they should have a problem. And the rest of the National League East is not playing to their potential at all. Like at all. Well, maybe the Marlins are. But, they're only 11 games back and they suck. Not 27.
The thing with the Mets is everybody stepped up. Okay,
Yeah.
DeGrom's out. Alonso was a smash a home run. Oh, Marcus Stroman's going to have one of the best outings of the season. When they need someone to get a big hit or a big run or a big play, the Mets overall as a team have been able to step up and do
Think about this. Lindor hasn't been what you hoped he would be. DeGrom's been in and out of the lineup with injuries and stuff. Diaz has not stepped all the way back to where you needed him to be based on what happened in Seattle versus what he's done here. And they're the team. They've got at everything they do. Pete Alonso has the nerve to enjoy himself after winning a home run derby, and people's britches catch on fire. It's absurd. But Mets are fun. They're fun to watch. They're not the Yankees. It's not. And somebody says it's Mets town. I'll slap you with an open hand. but they are fun to watch, and they could very, very easily win that East and hold on to it all the way through.
The New York Mets fans have to be thankful of one team this season. Not their obviously their own team, the San Francisco Giants. Because what's happened now because of the Giants is that the Giants are going to be in contention for the NL West. If the Giants hang on to that division, the Dodgers and Padres are going to have to play in the one-game playoff. So if San Francisco is out of this, you're likely as a Met fan going to play one of the two best teams in the entire Major League Baseball league, Dodgers or Padres, in an opening round game. Now because of the Giants, one of those teams is out.
Yeah.
And it makes your job a lot easier to get to the NLCS or potentially even a World Series.
You know what sucks? When the show got split up, we never got to do our full baseball preview. So real quick, let's do it right now.
Okay.
Who's going to the playoffs? You just said you think the Rays win the East.
White Sox.
White Sox win the Central. I definitely picked them.
And the Astros.
I did not pick the Astros. I thought the Angels were going to get it done this year, I think. But the Astros I thought could be a wild card. I'm not giving up on the A's. I like you. I like your wild cards. I like them coming out of the East primarily. I like that. National League, I thought the Mets were a wild card. I think they're the best team in the East.
I would have told you the Braves would have won the NL East and the Mets would have been out of it. I probably would have gone with the Braves and the Phillies. Every preseason I love the Phillies just because of the moves they make and Harper. So I would have told you preseason likely Braves, Phillies. But if I had to reselect now, I would take the Mets. The NL Central, Milwaukee still the top. And
I took Milwaukee.
It's the least sexy Milwaukee team they've had in a long time.
I had the Cards as a wild card.
Here's what I would have done. I would have taken probably St. Louis to win, and I would take Milwaukee. And I would have taken the Dodgers and the Padres out of the NL West, so that leaves me 5 teams. Yeah, that would be my 5.
I still don't want to take the Giants. No matter how good they are, I don't want to take them. We're live at the Hideaway. It's always fun to be here. Yankees-Red Sox tonight. Great food, great people. Even Chad's a good person. This is the longest show we've done. I feel like I'm kind of catching my podcasting legs now.
You feel like you're back into it now.
A little bit.
The podcast world.
You know what's weird is like,
how is that empty? Is this empty? How is that?
What? Because I drank it.
I thought like half.
Are you shaming Chad at the Hideaway for not bringing me a full beer?
That's
Yeah,
that's
what Goz said. Good,
so
thanks,
fast?
Goz. Thanks for doing that. That's what she said. Look, it's always fun here, man. And I guess I did see. So we got some. I want to run through some of the comments.
Yeah.
Robin Lakeland thinks I'm right. Yankees are going on a run. He wants to know if you remember when we went to a Rays Yankees game, guys, when they played in that Wide World of Sports baseball tournament. Worst stadium in the league, absolute garbage.
Yes, I do remember going to Tropicana Field, watching Rays Yankees, sitting in the outfield for batting practice. A-Rod hit a home run off our first baseman named Greg. It went off his glove, and our coach caught it in his gut and kept the home run ball from A-Rod. So I do remember that.
Ryan McCarthy, also a member of Godzilla Media. Next byline, Goz wants to set the Olympic flag on fire. So, Ryan, I just point of correction here. He didn't say he wanted to. He just said it's one of the greatest honors.
Ryan McCarthy, now a former member of Godzilla Media.
And then Toots McGee is very fired up about Agnes's name actually being Anus. And then Toots McGee, DeGrom doesn't win anyway because nobody ever scores a damn run when he's pitching. He actually wins a lot of games. Well, he doesn't get the win. The team wins like a lot of 2-1, 1-0 games. What else? Anything you want to tell us?
One other comment I'd like to add. Mike kind of piggybacked off Monty's comment about coach. Monty wanted to be called Engineer Monty. Mike said, I'm an esports coach. I'd also like to be called coach.
It's fair.
That's it.
If I had ever told everyone the titles that I'm actually flirting with at this moment in my life, it would blow your freaking mind. I do want to point out, biggest game this entire season in arena football is Saturday night. The Albany Empire. Our guys are boots on the ground. Columbus, Georgia. I didn't know there was a Columbus, Georgia.
I told somebody the other day it was in Ohio.
Thank God. Thank God I didn't have to go on this trip. My kid's graduation party tomorrow. I'd be in Ohio right now going, where's the team? Why aren't we here? Why are they in Georgia? Why are they like an hour outside of Atlanta? Whoever wins this game will, if the Empire wins this game, they lock up the top seed, already locked up a home playoff game on August 7th. You would then host the NAL championship game, which would be most likely August 14th. But if Columbus wins, the Empire needs to rout Jacksonville on the 31st. So this is
they lost to, by the way, earlier in the
right,
season. Yeah.
which and their fans have been trolling Empire fans online ever since. So big game. It's on YouTube this weekend. Make sure you pay attention to that because this Empire team. I was talking to my guy Darius Prince yesterday. I mean, is there a more underrated wide receiver in the history of indoor football than Darius Prince?
No, it's not even close.
I mean, look, Malachi's amazing. Joe Hills is amazing. Darius Prince, like those three guys should be spoken in the same breath every time. But Darius Prince has done things I've never seen anybody else do. And by the way, he did not play football in college.
He got onto the Philadelphia Eagles roster.
Philadelphia, and then he's walking around in a New York Guardians shirt the other day at the facility at the Times Union Center. And I go, "Did you play for him?" He goes, "They brought him in for 3 weeks of training camp while people were hurt. He blew everybody out of the water, and then they let him go." I would have that jersey by now if Prince had played in that thing. But he's amazing. And our boy Jeremy Richardson is back. He was the MAC linebacker for the championship team. He's the fullback this year.
The mean mug
of them all. And Varma Sony is back too. So this team, literally, our guy Coffee, the guy who works with Ron Jaworski, Coffee posted that the Empire we're also signing Dame Lillard. We got Aaron Rodgers. Like, it is a super team. It is going to be so much fun. Hopefully they go out there and just smack Columbus. Columbus is really good.
Hopefully our next live show will be Saturday, July 31st, before the Albany Empire game. I have to take it up with the Albany Empire representatives, though, to clear that.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
all right, that's what our next show
will be. You want to do it in our office?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Let's do it there again.
All right.
Lock the interns
You want to do
out
it? You want to do it in the team president's office? I know the guy. We can just take over his office for a while. So that's a lot of stuff going on. What else going on in the world of Goz?
Godzilla Media, make sure to follow me on social media at Tom Goz, TOMGOZZ. If you're interested in locking in a podcast with us or a brand or to sponsor future episodes, Goz, G-O-Z at GodzillaMedia.com. Exciting stuff on the way this summer. Levack, you heard me on the phone acting like a hotshot earlier. I'm so excited about announcing some stuff that's coming on the way this summer for Godzilla Media.
Let's put it like this. I was talking to my guy Mike over at Tech East Fire and Water Restoration, and we're like, we got to do all these things. And all of a sudden I looked over, I was like, oh, Goz is doing good enough. We don't have to do any of those things. He can do them. Which no one's more shocked than I am. But no, just a lot of great stuff. Again, make sure you check out the Empire, tefirewater.com, Godzilla Media. And I guess I got to do it because I was amazed by the amount of people who reached out. The cat had become an internet sensation. My cat Gizmo, part Maine Coon, tuxedo cat. My man had gastrointestinal lymphoma, which if you think that sounds terrible, you're absolutely right. But we lost my dude. He's crossed over the Rainbow Bridge. So I'm dedicating Levack and Goz today and I don't know, the next 16 episodes to Gizmo the cat. This is my guy. My kid loved that cat. He's the mouthiest little prick you ever met in your life, but he was a great cat, and we miss him. We miss him very much.
R.I.P. Gizmo. The hat tip to you, man, and
Giz.
future summer episodes in honor of Gizmo.
Yeah, that's right. So Giz my guy. So all right. And Ella made a surprise appearance on the show today too. So that out of nowhere. The rules are the rules. From here on out, every time we're on this thing, if you happen to actually know my cell phone number, we're not going to give it out. You can call and you'll get on the show. We will literally answer anyone who actually knows my cell phone number. My friend Chantel had a rule. If you knew what her bathroom looked like, you get invited to a party.
Okay.
So here's the rule. If you know what my cell phone number is, you're invited to the show. But that's it.
And thank you to everybody on Facebook, Twitter, StreamYard, all the places we were today. And also, please make sure to leave a review and comment. We'll give you a shout out on the next podcast if you download the podcast.
Toots, R.I.P. Gizmo, Gizilla Media for the foreseeable for the next 16. I like that. So he's on Godzilla, I'm on Gizilla. And thanks to the great crew here at the Hideaway.
Yeah.
If you are looking for great food, if you're looking for great golf, if you're just looking for a night out and a great place that looks like it's better than you but welcomes you, right? How many people we know have come in this place like, this is too nice for me? It's the Hideaway at Saratoga Lake Golf Club. Rob from Lakeland just said he's coming to Albany.
Rob, you know my house, I think.
I'm leaving. I'm leaving before he gets here.
Goodbye.
All right,
until
buddy.
next week.
Bye. Thanks, man. We appreciate you guys.
Leave now.
Thanks. And my Venmo is Jeff Tesla. The cat was expensive.